Hi everyone, I will be talking to you today about my experience with Safelite. I started there in February and do currently still work there about 25 hours per week. So I will get into a little bit about the company first. Safelite is a Columbus-based company originally founded in Wichita, Kansas in 1947. The company grew from one small junkyard location to now over 850 locations nationwide. The company is the largest auto glass business in the United States with over 16,000 employees. Safelite Group is a subsidiary of the larger Belron International, the industry-leading conglomerate for safety glass. The Safelite Group is comprised of three different entities: Safelite Solutions, Service AutoGlass, and Safelite AutoGlass. Safelite AutoGlass, what you're most likely familiar with, is the largest provider of vehicle glass repair and replacement services. Safelite AutoGlass serves over 6 million customers each year, with services available to 90% of drivers in all 50 states. The mission statement of Safelite AutoGlass is to make a difference and bring unexpected happiness to people's everyday lives. The values of the organization are collaboration, integrity, greatness, a service mindset, a can-do attitude, and a caring heart. The current CEO and president of Safelite Autoglass is Thomas Feeney. Although Feeney will soon be leaving Safelite Autoglass for an executive position of parent company Belron. Renee Cachillo, current executive vice president and customer experience officer, will be taking over. The shift in executive leadership makes it an interesting time in Safelite. So far, the transition period has been relatively unnoticeable. There's been a release and a few videos featuring both Tom and Renee, but overall, the transition has not affected our day-to-day operations yet. The official transition date is December 6th, so it'll be interesting how the business shifts after that. Tom was a very involved CEO. Everyone within the Safelite group has access to a company web page called The Wire, where company resources, policies, and news could be found. One of the features on the website is Ask Tom, where any associates can send an email to ask a question, offer recognition, or offer a solution that Tom then reads and replies to. I'm not only curious how these aspects ingrained in the company will shift, but if having a female CEO will impact the organizational makeup of a very male-dominated organization. Diving deeper into the current environment of Safelite is a little tricky. I've been in the office one time to pick up my equipment. I've never met one of my direct supervisors face to face, as well as any of my team members. Working 100% remotely makes it difficult to really dive into much of the culture, as so much of it is seeing and experiencing it. My team combats working at home by having weekly touch bases and frequently chatting via Teams. I was brought into Safelite in February of 2021 on the People Direct team. The purpose of the team is to support the over 16,000 associates with any human resources related questions that they may have. Call topics range from payroll inquiries, leave of absence questions, workers' comp questions, onboarding troubles, use of HRIS, most recently any COVID related questions, benefits questions, employment verification needs. I can't completely encapsulate just how different each call is. If the team doesn't have the immediate answer for the associate, then we have the knowledge on who to escalate the associate to in order to resolve their claims. The team currently consists of about 16 people, so we are a strong team of 16 serving over 16,000 associates. The primary goal I face in my job is to quickly and professionally serve as many associates as possible. When I was initially brought in February of 2021, the main business need was answering COVID related questions. In the first few weeks, I would get calls related specifically to COVID symptoms, exposures, or positive cases. I would then have to go through business protocols, almost acting as a detective to make sure I had the right level of detail to keep everyone as safe and healthy as possible. I would follow up the calls with sending associates the right leave information that would include benefits on leave, requirements to get back to work, and other important details. I would then put the associate out on a leave of absence. Once the associate met the requirements to return to work, I would also go through that process with the associate to get them back active. After my first few weeks, I began taking calls related to the wide range of topics I mentioned earlier. In addition to 4 hours taking calls each day, I would work on tickets related to the same topics and posting a wide range of documents, such as performance improvement plans and sign-on agreements, amongst other things. As time went on, I began taking on responsibilities such as processing new hires and completing wage audits. The deliverables of my job are very quantitative based. I've pulled the amount of calls I've answered, the amount of tickets I've resolved, and the amount of documents I've posted. As of October 4th, I've taken 1,422 calls. Since I work part time, that boils down to about 8 calls a day with about 2 calls per hour. Call times can range from 3 minutes to 45 minutes, each caller having a unique question or problem. The tickets I'm referencing are the same type of inquiries that calls are, just another method to reach our team. I have an hour that I am strictly working on tickets that come to our box and then work on tickets in between calls as well. So I've resolved a total of 825 tickets. Between calls and tickets, I average serving about 13 associates per day, resulting in assisting 2,207 associates in my 8 months. Another task I complete in the hour off the phones or in between calls is posting documents to employee profiles. I deal with documents like performance improvement plans, resignation letters, company policies, and agreements. I make sure each document is completed properly and fully. Otherwise, I have to reach out to the proper party to complete it correctly. I've posted 383 documents. In addition to the hard data I have provided, I wanted to round out my deliverables with some qualitative data as well. Each associate receives a satisfaction survey after our calls. They can choose to rate the call and leave comments. I asked my supervisor to share my comments. The following are quotes that I received. The representative was friendly, professional, and very knowledgeable. My experience was very positive. The information I needed wasn't available to be directly given due to security reasons, so the representative found a way to confirm the information I needed without violating security measures. The representative was friendly, professional, and very knowledgeable. Addie was so very kind. Thank you. In my role, I am very siloed from the rest of the company. I reach out to talent ac, payroll, HR business partners, or benefits on any given day, but my interaction with marketing, IT, finance is little to zero. So now I do have high interaction with field employees, so I've done my best to understand what the operations of the company look like. For Safelite AutoGlass, there are a range of possible positions: techs, repair specialists, mobile techs, store managers, dispatchers. They are scheduling repairs, completing replacements, running stores, or driving out to where customers are to complete jobs. The Safelite solutions are like call centers, and they are taking calls from insurance agents or just regular people to open insurance claims. Our call centers can be notified at first notice of loss and assist customers through service, invoicing, and reporting. This goes beyond glass and into auto, property, roadside, and workers' comp claims. I won't pretend to be an expert in all that they do, but it was interesting to learn Safelite services have expanded far beyond just auto glass. Finally, service auto glass workers are often in warehouses fulfilling orders for vendors. Learning these basic operations of the business was interesting, but also helpful in understanding who was on the other side of the phone. In terms of HR-related learnings, a huge lesson I learned was the balance between advocacy of the business and advocacy of the employee. I remember a specific call I had. The person was explaining all the tough times they were facing and the trouble that they were having getting in the proper documentation to return to work. Felt really bad, and I was trying to figure out how to get them an extension. I reached out to the team, but they were firm with needing the paperwork by the deadline. At first, I thought this was a bit cold. If only they could hear this associate and what they were going through. But after some reflection, I realized they were trying to keep the process fair. Associates have likely gamed the system and the team, so they have these protocols in place to ensure that the system doesn't fall apart. Many associates, what I find helps in these situations is just listening to the associate. They just need to let some frustration out and for someone to validate their feelings. So after I go through that process with them, I then try to be as transparent as possible. These are the protocols the business sets, and in some cases, the law requires us to follow. I'm not able to change these protocols, but what I can do is write down any complaints and escalate and be there to listen. Another HR-related lesson that I learned in my position is how to tie in values to performance management. I've witnessed two different strategies on different ends of the spectrum in measuring performance. One is done within my specific team. We have access to a link all month, and we can submit names of our peers with examples and how they live out Safelite's values. So most recently, I submitted a peer because she had reached out after noticing I had dealt with a particularly difficult associate. She checked in on me and asked if there was anything she could do to help. She exemplified a caring heart and collaboration. It felt good to recognize her living out our company values. On the flip side, I also see how values are measured in performance improvement plans. And in evaluating the incorrect behavior, the manager has to check which company value this violates on the PIP. An example of this is one PIP discussed how an associate was siphoning gas off of a company vehicle. In this PIP, the associate was violating the company values of greatness and integrity. It was interesting to learn how values can truly be ingrained in all aspects of company culture. Finally, when I reflect back on my experience with Safelite so far, I realize how much Safelite's company mission to make a difference and bring unexpected happiness to people's everyday lives has truly influenced my personal human resources philosophy. I go into each day trying to make a difference in at least one person's day. My interactions are small, but if I can connect them to the right resource, then it can have a big impact on their life. My experience with Safelite reminds me of one of my favorite TED Talks, Everyday Leadership. In the last 30 seconds, the presenter shares how altering someone's perspective of their capabilities, supporting them, or unveiling their potential to be a trailblazer is igniting change in that one person's world. Those are the moments I want to create for people in the workplace. I want to expose the strengths people have to maximize their capabilities to create an exciting and innovative work environment for teams I'm on. In this employee relations role, I've gotten a small taste of what it can feel like to make a difference in someone's day, but I crave more. I look forward to continuing my career with Safelite and looking for those opportunities to make larger impacts in employees' work lives throughout my HR career path. So that is all I have for you today. Thank you for listening.